Welcome back to Or Something Like That, the podcast where you can talk shit with your besties. We're your besties and your hosts, Sam
and Hollis. Thanks for being here. Now let's start the show. All right. Hello. Hi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Even though I feel like I just said Happy New Year in like a completely different voice than I normally have.
Happy New Year. Yeah. I don't know what that was about. I did a weird one too. But it's my New Year. New Year, new voice.
New Year, new voice. I feel like even though the last episode came out on the first day, we didn't really, because it was pre-recorded. Yeah, we recorded that a while ago. So yeah, we can really lean into the Happy New Year of it all.
I know. It's been good so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. So I think too, just to like touch on the last episode, because like we kind of laid it on you a little bit. I mean,
yeah,
it was a good one.
Deep one.
It was a little deep though. But like, I don't want anyone to get it twisted. I'm like still doing the new year, new body goals. So like,
oh yeah, I mean it's a lifelong struggle.
Yeah,
with body image.
So not that anyone like listened to that and was like, oh my god, they have it all figured out. Like they're so body positive. But I mean, yeah, no, I'm still doing it.
Yeah,
it's just about wanting for ourselves and women and just like humanity in general. It's like wanting to shift the thinking and the perspective, and like it starts with yourself,
100%.
You know, and like
it's one of those things too where it's like happiness or self-esteem. You're not just like one day you reach good body image.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's like a constant.
It's a constant
work
evolution
forever. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully it was helpful and relatable, and let's hope we'll still be talking about it.
Yeah, it was mostly just us, like, I don't know.
Well, because we were kind of all over
vomiting.
The place. Yeah, we were kind of all over
feelings.
The place, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we talk about a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, it consumes a lot of our brain space, I feel like. Just like us as individuals, and then I think for just women in general.
Oh, for sure.
So anyway, we will be happy to continue that conversation as it comes up, because it'll come up.
Yeah. Almost a lot of things I feel like we talk about, you could relate it to that. So
yeah, absolutely. Another New Year's goal that we are now doing together, we're going dry first quarter.
Yeah.
And then we'll just see how it goes from there.
Yeah,
but
I'm so excited.
We're thrilled. Not that we really drink that much anyway, but
yeah, but it'll just be nice just to not.
Just to not, yeah. And we have our apothecary tincture.
I already feel
So mellow. I actually started using this tincture. I don't know. I say tincture. My husband said it's tincture. And then I just started saying tincture. And now I don't know. Yeah. So you can tell me.
Tincture sounds good to me.
Tincture or tincture? I don't know.
I don't know for sure, but I'll go tincture.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more fun to say.
The hard C is a little nice. Tincture.
Yeah.
Rolls off the tongue kind of nicely. Anyway, I first used these last year, I want to say, is when I brought them over. And this one is like what's called wine down. It's like a red wine replacement, or it's supposed to like, that's what they consider it, is like a red wine replacement as far as like flavor and like the effect, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's nice. And I am telling you what, you will sleep like a baby.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to start making syrups.
Yes.
At home, so I can like jazz up
do a little
my
mocktail action
game.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of like soda waters with bitters and lime. Yeah. But I'm getting kind of bored of that already.
Yeah.
So
it's fun to mix it up a little
jazz
bit.
It up. Yeah.
And I really want to try some of these, like, you know, of course I can't think of any of what they're called now, but they make the ones that are already like mixed for you, like the adaptogen drinks. So I want to try some more of those.
Yeah. I've never ventured into CBD land either.
Yeah, no, me neither. And like some of them actually have like THC. Now, I don't know if those are legal in Indiana or what the deal is with that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Doesn't interest me really, but
yeah, well, they're like micro doses.
Yeah.
It's not like lighten up. Yeah.
Right.
But
it's not like lighting up a doob.
It's not like lighting up a doobie. But they have really good reviews. And the ones that I've looked at, I mean, it says it ships here. It's just like, who knows? I mean, maybe it's like such a small dose that it doesn't, count. Right. I don't know. But yeah. So, and of course you can get with or without. So maybe the ones that ship here like don't have the THC and it just has like the mushrooms or whatever. So I don't know. But
I got some mushroom coffee gifted to me for Christmas.
Have you tried it?
I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what you think about that too, because people say it's good for digestion as well. Yeah. So, and another thing, and this is like this is for purely vanity, but have you heard of castor oil navel pulling?
I hadn't until you mentioned it the other day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I might try that.
Oh.
I don't know. We'll see. It's like something that went viral on TikTok, and this girl who went viral talking about it, she's a nurse practitioner, but I think she works for like a beauty spa, not like a,
Yeah.
But anyway, she swears by it. It's supposed to help with your digestion. It's based in some kind of like ancient Eastern medicine where there's like supposedly this gland inside your belly button.
Ooh,
that,
sexy.
Yeah. That, in your body, like where your belly button is. And that it absorbs the castor oil and like helps with digestion. Now, I do know that like, back in the day, they used to give castor oil sometimes to pregnant women to like induce labor. So it definitely has like
uses, and
it definitely can have that effect if like you ingest it, which I'm not going to do. And I'm not recommending anyone do that. Don't do that.
Right.
But there's no like scientific evidence that gland actually exists or that the oil actually absorbs like into your body enough for it to work. But suppose like she's like, I've never had a flatter stomach like doing this, so we'll see. I don't know. I might try it.
It sounds like that
it really sounds like
topical. That like what would the downsides?
Yeah,
be if it
that's
didn't
the
work?
thing.
It's like
There's no
low risk.
Yeah, it's very low risk. There's no like really risk of doing it except for maybe like
if you were like, I'm
irritation.
drinking castor oil, I would maybe be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't recommend that. But really what I'm saying is that I've just learned a lot from our last conversation about that it doesn't matter what I look like.
Yeah. I'm still going to try every TikTok trend that might possibly get me a flat
That's
stomach.
exactly right.
Hey, we're doing it.
So anyway, we'll see.
Well, that's cool.
We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I don't even know. I guess you answered already. Like, what is castor oil and what is it? I don't
know. Let's look it up because I was wondering that too. Is it like a seed oil of some kind?
I guess it must be. Castor sounds so...
it sounds seedy.
Yeah.
Where
in more
does
ways than
castor
one.
oil come from?
The castor plant?
The seeds of the castor oil plant.
Oh, good.
Ricinus communis.
Ooh.
Ricinus?
That's what I'm going to name my first
Ricinus. Yeah. The castor oil plant.
Come here. It's time to go
But
outside.
I use it already as moisturizer. I mix it into my lotion because it has a lot of fatty acids in it, and it's very viscous for oil. Like it's sticky almost. Like
okay. Oh, interesting. I was picturing like witch hazel kind of.
No, that's almost like a toner.
Yeah.
Like no, this is very thick, viscous, sticky,
interesting,
greasy oil.
Yeah, put that on your belly button.
Hells yeah, I'm doing it. So anyway, I'll keep you guys posted.
Cool.
I'll let you know if it works.
Cool.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah.
or something like that. So another New Year's thing I'm doing, which I saw, and now I can't remember where I saw this, probably, on Instagram, but it's where you take a jar and every time something good happens throughout the year, you write it on a piece of paper, you stick it in the jar, and then on New Year's Eve the next year, you read all the great things that happened the year.
I like that. I get on board with that.
So
yeah, I tried to do that today, like a year in review.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you sit down and write all the positives out? But it's really hard.
It's hard to think back. Yeah. So I think it'll be fun for the kids.
I was like, ooh,
too.
did I really have that bad of a year? I felt like this year was okay. But I can only think of 2 good things that happened to me. Dang.
That's why you need to do it in real time. Yeah. So I think it'll be fun with the kids. And
oh yeah, that's a great idea with kids.
Yeah.
With the children.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. I haven't started journaling yet, which was one of mine. A few days.
We're not volunteering yet, but we're working on it.
Research, and I have a short list.
Oh, good.
So
nothing like a short list.
On that. Yep.
Much better than a long list.
Yeah. You don't want
a long list.
a long list, especially not a volunteer options. But no, I'm serious about that one. So I'm going to try to get that rolling here.
Nice.
Pretty soon.
I'm still doing my ancestry. I have started to research some German traditions. So, yeah.
I was trying to find you for a Christmas gift, like a cool book or something.
Yeah.
Or like, not book, but what's the word? Album or something where you could like store all your stuff.
Yeah.
But then I decided that was kind of a personal thing. So,
oh, yeah.
It would have been a hard. I was like, she'll probably want, and you used to scrapbook. So
I know.
Like, she probably knows
kind
all
of
the way better stuff
about that kind of stuff. Yeah. But that's very thoughtful.
Sure.
Thanks for thinking of me.
Just wanted you to know that I was thinking of you this Christmas.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
Yeah, my first thought though was, are we doing gifts? Like, do we do Christmas gifts? I don't know if we do.
I feel like we usually do, but it's just something like, small. And which is what we did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we didn't talk about it.
Nope.
Yeah. We just,
we already knew.
Yeah, we know what's up. Yeah, so I looked up some dishes I think that I'm going to try to make with the kids. And then there's this like, and it did say it's kind of hard to make, but there's this like special punch that they drink on Christmas and New Year's Eve. And then what was the other one? Oh, it's the one where you set the boots outside your door.
For Santa?
Yeah, but it's not. It's on a different day. St. Nicholas Day.
Oh, when's that?
Like the 15th or something.
Oh.
And you set your boots out and you hope you get a little gift in your boots from St. Nicholas. Yeah. Then, of course, there's the Krampus, which we've been to when my 5-year-old was little because we used to have a Krampus parade here.
Oh, really? I thought Krampus... I don't know the history behind Krampus, but I thought it was like scary.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Krampus is this kind of like monster that comes and like takes the bad children away and like stuffs them in a burlap bag and like carries them out and supposedly like eats them. It's folklore. Yeah. So I mean, it's a little creepy, but
kids
So
it's for kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's like. It's scary, but it's also like you only get taken away if you're a bad kid. And then they have like events and parades, probably similar to what we have here. And then they like throw candy to the good kids. Gotcha. And like people dress up in these big elaborate costumes. Did you never go to Krampus night here?
No, but there was a Krampus night in New Orleans, but it was definitely not for kids.
Okay.
So I think that's where my point of reference was. And I was like, what?
Yeah. So it was here. But they did have like Krampus costumes were very, very elaborate. And you got naughty or nice stickers and you choose your sticker. And so if you chose the naughty sticker, then the Krampuses can like touch you and stuff.
Oh, snap.
And like come up to you. And if you have a nice sticker, then they can't. So like you get to choose like what kind of experience you want to have.
Like choose your own
adventure. Yeah. And then they would have this trailer with like a cage around it that had all these kids in it, like, let me out. And they would like go,
cool.
Yeah. And they had all kinds they'd have fire dancers and like the Hudsucker Posse and like everyone would be, it was like a big parade.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a German folklore thing. So that's where I'm at with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. What else we got going on? Should we put our foil hats on and talk about the DROENSs?
Yeah. The dronies. I don't know I kind of haven't been following much.
I mean, I just think it's funny how people are like, this is happening, and everybody's just kind of like, whatever. And it's like, here's my thing. Like, what are you going to do? Like, if this is how I go, this is how I go.
Yeah, for real. And if you don't know what it is, it's like, well, what am I going to...
Exactly.
I don't even know what to worry about.
There's no... what good is like going into a panic gonna do?
Well, it's like the aliens too. When we finally got word from the government,
it's
confirmed there are aliens. Everybody was just like, whatever.
Cool. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Duh.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's a lot of theories out there. I think the three biggest ones I've heard is that, yeah, okay, so it's aliens. All right, sure. That's, I think, believable, and sure, that could be true. The second one is that it's our government, and they are training our military for drone combat. Okay, pretty believable as well. And then the third one is that it's our government, and that they're looking for some kind of like nuclear waste or product or something that has been lost, or they've been tipped off that there's something. And this is actually the one I've been hearing the most. And now I guess the latest is that there's some kind of like fog that's like settled now in these areas where they're being seen a lot, and it's like obstructing the view of the sky. And I don't know, there's just all this stuff about, and I mean, I kind of believe this. I mean, it makes sense where it's like, you know, we have what we know as far as like how technology has advanced, but that there's all of this technology and stuff that the government has and knows about and uses that we know nothing about.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm sure that's true.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. You know, because there's all these theories that like they're making this fog and all this stuff, which not that it's like super technologically advanced to make fog. Yeah. It's just water vapor, but you know what I mean.
Oh, like, yeah, I'm sure conspiracy theorists are just going off.
Yeah.
With all kinds of concepts.
Yeah, but it is kind of, you know, there is this little bit of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, where it's, there's not like mainstream media coverage of this.
Right.
You know, if you're...
so many other crazy things happening in the news. Every day I feel like there's something wild.
Which when you think about like giant drones the size of cars, like hovering over people's houses, and like now they're being seen like in all different parts of the country, like, yeah, that's like pretty significant, I would say. So, I mean...
But everybody's like, have you heard about the price of eggs, though?
Like, but what about groceries?
People just want stuff to be cheaper. Everybody's like, drones? Yeah, big whoop.
Yeah.
The world's on fire. Who cares? So we were going to talk about...
Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Okay. This shit is wild.
Yeah, fill me in, because I feel like I got like I've been hearing all of the fallout, but I don't know exactly what she accused him of.
Okay, so just to like kind of start from the beginning. So like a year ago is when this like the story broke about like basically Blake and Ryan Reynolds like swooping in, that there was like butting heads of like how the movie was going to be marketed, and like everybody was kind of saying like, oh, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively just think because they're so famous like they can just like do whatever they want, almost like they were like bullying,
right? It's like strong arming,
like, and then people didn't like the way she was like also promoting her like hair care line. There was also this interview that kind of resurfaced where Blake was like maybe a little bit rude to the interviewer. Okay. And this is when they were doing the press for the movie, and all the press photos were coming out, and he wasn't being photographed with anyone. And he was basically like, he was trying to say that the topic of the movie was so sensitive, and he didn't like the way that they were like doing the press for it and all this, and that basically it was Blake and Ryan who were like, we're going to do it this way, which that's not their decision. How you do a press tour for a movie and the way you market a movie is not their decision. It's a Sony movie.
Right.
You know, and it doesn't matter like how much power you have in Hollywood. Like, you're not going to tell Sony how to market their movie. And basically everybody was just like, oh yeah, like Blake's, you know, we knew. I don't know. It was just, people were very quick to like discredit her and just like say like, oh yeah, well, you know, she's not this perfect princess. Like she must be a bitch. Like, look at this interview, yada, yada, yada.
How it always goes.
Right.
For the woman.
Right. Like. Well, now we're finding out that the complaint that she filed had a list of 30 things, and it was, Hollis, it was insane. Here's the complaint. No more showing nude videos or images of women, including producer's wife, to Blake Lively and or her employees. No more mention of Mr. Baldoni's or Mr. Heath's previous pornography addiction, or Blake Lively's lack of pornography consumption to Blake Lively or her crew members. No more discussions to Blake Lively and her employees about personal experiences with sex, including as it relates to spouses or others. No more mention to Blake Lively or her employees of personal times that physical consent was not given in sexual acts as either the abuser or the abused. No more descriptions of their own genitalia to Blake Lively.
Oh my God.
No more jokes or disparaging comments to be made to Blake Lively and or her employees about HR complaints. No more mention by Mr. Baldoni of him speaking to Blake Lively's dead father.
What?
No more pressing by Mr. Baldoni for Blake Lively to disclose her religious beliefs or unsolicited sharing of his. And then there's about her being exposed to COVID and them not like telling her or doing anything about it. No more personal physical touching of or sexual comments by Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath to be tolerated by Blake Lively. No more improvising of kissing. All intimate touch should be choreographed in advance with Blake Lively and an intimacy coordinator. No biting or sucking of lip without Blake Lively's consent.
Good God.
I mean, and it goes on and on and on. No more entering, attempting to enter, interrupting, pressuring, or asking Blake Lively to enter her trailer or the makeup trailer by Mr. Heath or Mr. Baldoni while she is nude for any reason. No more private multi-hour meetings in Blake Lively's trailer with Mr. Baldoni crying with no outside Blake Lively appointed representative to monitor. No more pressing by Mr. Baldoni to sage Blake Lively's employees. I mean...
Sage her employees?
Yeah, like sage. Yeah. No more adding of sex scenes, oral sex, or on-camera climaxing by Blake Lively outside the scope of the script.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean, yeah.
Wow, that is insane.
Yes.
God, that sounds like it must have been a nightmare.
An absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
And like... This, yeah, and the irony of it all is just like
astounding.
Yeah, and what on earth makes people think they're gonna get away with this shit? Because they have been, and that's the problem, and that's why,
and that they obviously think there's nothing wrong with most of what they're doing,
right?
You know,
right? Yeah, I mean, and yeah, they think that they wield this power, and a lot of times they do, unfortunately. And yeah, that's why women are afraid to come forward, because this is exactly what has been happening to women in Hollywood. And, you know, he went and crafted this narrative and put out all these hit pieces, and the public and the internet and everybody were just so quick to discredit Blake Lively and discredit the woman. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and another reason too, which that women a lot of times don't come forward, or even if they do and they sit down with the attorneys and they do all this stuff, they end up not filing the lawsuit, is because it is open season now. And this is how attorneys work in these kinds of cases. And it is, they are going to pick her apart, you know, and you have to be prepared for that. And I think a lot of people, they get into a room and they get explained, like, and not just in civil cases, but in criminal cases too. We see victims get absolutely torn apart. And it's like, two things can be true at the same time. You can have made mistakes and not be a perfect person and also still be a victim. Yeah. You know what I mean?
100%,
and
yeah.
So the fact that like she's going through with this, like, I mean, that I think says enough right there that, and she probably felt like she didn't have a choice because he's already, you know, done this. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's just crazy to me how everybody was like, oh, yeah, like this one clip of her in this interview like 10 years ago or something. I don't know if it was 10 years ago, but it wasn't current. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, yeah, she was kind of rude to that interview. She must be a bitch. So she's like, and
it's just insane. Like, that's why, you know, it's so hard to believe anything. Right. Anymore, because you're just like, everything's taken out of context. Yeah. You know, and it's just, everything's salacious, and it's like information overload where it's, there's really only a few sources I feel like you can trust anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they were just completely fabricated hit pieces. Yeah. And they have all of these text messages between like the crisis PR team people and stuff that basically, proves a lot of, and I guess a lot of the text message, they're talking about how awful he is. The PR girls.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like, yeah.
Well, he was really good at playing that part.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing is weird too to me. Like that he was like,
story is so bizarre.
It is like
considering what the concept of the movie is. Yeah.
So anyway, we did watch the movie. It was good.
Yeah, it makes me glad to not be a celebrity.
Oh my God.
I mean, I know we've been skyrocketing with this podcast.
We basically are celebrities.
We're just B-listers.
Yeah.
But can you imagine being an A-lister celebrity? That would be so hard. Because you're dealing with the legal side of it all.
Yeah.
And then just speculation from the whole world. Oof.
Yeah, no way. I mean, we talked about this even when we started this podcast. Like, if it goes anywhere and anyone anywhere is listening, at some point somebody's going to have something to say. Whether and you're not
like there's already like 50 idiotic things I've said that could be taken out of context. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like, not everybody's going to like you, and like you just have to be able to accept that.
Yeah.
But this is on a very small scale. And when you're talking about like the entire internet just being like, oh, fuck Blake Lively, she's a bitch in that video. Right. So like she's lying, and
it sucks. And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Happens all the time for women. Yeah.
So something's got to change. Hopefully. I mean, the thing that...
What is this guy... Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
What has this guy done in the past?
I don't know. I didn't know anything about him until this movie.
I didn't recognize him or his name.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about his history, but I mean...
Yeah, it's also, though, an odd choice of person to... I mean, I'm sure he's been doing this to all kinds of people, but... I mean, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds they are pretty fucking famous.
Yeah. I know.
Odd choice of person to try to intimidate and make,
And as far as like, celebrities go, they're pretty private too. I mean, it's not a celebrity where you're going to have like a ton of like social media, like stuff to cling on to in terms of like, oh, well, this person's constantly putting themselves out there. So we have all this ammunition to like twist and turn. Like they are pretty private. I mean,
and I think have a pretty good reputation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to think like it makes you think about the things that you read and see. And it's like, yeah, you really can't. Well, it's just even like,
oh yeah, anything.
So this is a good segue into the Bravo of it all. But Craig and Paige broke up from Summer House, and I know you don't watch that, but Paige's Giggly Squad.
Oh right,
yeah, and just already seeing like all of the stuff that people are saying, like, and like here's the thing, like obviously I don't know Paige personally, none of us do, but just from having listened to Giggly Squad and being in like the Facebook group and, you see these things that get posted, and something got posted today, I guess, some article, and everybody was like freaking out about it because the article said there's been speculation that she was out with like a new guy already on New Year's Eve. And she literally just announced the breakup on the podcast like on Monday. And today is Friday.
Yeah.
So they're saying that she was already out with somebody like on New Year's Eve, like the next day. And so of course everybody's like, oh, like she was probably like cheating on him and all this stuff. And then there was this article that came out that said she like posted on her Instagram about being out with this guy. And of course all the gigglers are like trying to find all this stuff. And they're like, she never posted anything. And I don't think she did. Like, I mean, it just completely made up, So it's like, yeah, it makes you think back to like things that you've read in the past or seen. And it's like, yeah, it's just crazy. And some of these things are like credible news sources. it's not just social media. You know what I mean? Like, it's like credible news sources do report on celebrities some. You know what I mean? And so it's like you really can't, it's almost like you can't trust anything.
No, it's true.
I mean, seriously.
I wonder what the life of a gossip columnist is like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a celebrity.
Or like Dumois.
Or whatever. Yeah. Man, like.
I wonder who it.
Or I wonder how often they're just like, this isn't true. I have no idea. This is not like confirmed whatsoever, but let me just write this up anyways. You know, like, I wonder if they if they feel guilty about it, if they're conscious.
Well, think about these like crisis PR people who are literally putting these hit pieces out.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And you know it's just completely fabricated.
Yeah. What a weird world. It just feels like a completely different world.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's crazy. And I can't. And the way that like people are just, and this is a thing too. This is another thing. And I feel like it's the same theme. And like, I hate to say this, but it's just this underlying sentiment of misogyny. I mean, it really is. Like, it's this whole, just going back to the Craig and Paige example, all of the comments and all of it's just like, he's too good for her. She, yada.
Really?
Yes. And it, you know, a lot of it is because she wasn't ready to get married and have kids. She wants to focus on her career, you know? Yeah. And I would say 90% of the comments are just like hate comments to her. And everybody's just like, Craig's the best. And I'm just like, it's insane to me. And it's like, you don't know these people.
Yeah.
You know? And like, nobody knows like or the inside of a relationship other than the people in it. And it's just like, why can't you just be like, oh, that sings for them?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like,
too bad, so sad.
Yeah. It's just so crazy to me that, and literally every single thing I read was like, good for him. She sucks. Oh, like, God. I mean, it's insane. I don't know.
It's very bizarre. Yeah.
I just really think that like people are just so quick to like, oh, I don't know.
Make assumptions about everything. Yeah.
Well, and it's just, I do feel like, God, I really do feel like we have so much work to do to unlearn misogyny. I really do.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we just started
even like conceptualizing unlearning it.
Right. No, for real.
I mean, yeah. And it's like we do it too. It's not just men. We do it to ourselves.
Oh, sure. I mean, the patriarchy is upheld by everybody.
Yeah.
You know, because it's that deep within us.
I know. Yeah. God. Anyway.
Man.
Maybe we could move on to something a little more uplifting. Yeah, we love you, Paige. And you know what? We like Craig too. We just like all of you. We're rooting for all of you.
I don't. Fuck Craig. I don't know anything about Craig, but he sounds like a loser.
Loser with your sewing. His
sew.
Oh my God. This is the one you need to watch. Southern Charm is your next. Watch it from the beginning. But he had this girlfriend before, Naomi, and he was a little bit of a lost soul for a little while, as young people are, and I think men too, especially. But he went to law school, but then he like wasn't really like motivated to like study and take the bar, and he was just kind of like, what am I doing? And so he just like started sewing. He like got a sewing machine and started sewing, and there's this scene where he gets in a fight with his girlfriend at the time, and she's like, you just like sit around all day and like you're sewing and like this and that.
Well, never mind. Craig sounds kind of cool, actually.
Well, he now owns like a multi-million-dollar pillow business.
Oh, wow.
So he really went somewhere with his sewing.
Hey, man. Hobbies are great.
Yeah. But now it's funny because like they play that clip all the time. You just sit around and you're sewing. That's funny.
He's like, yeah, I'm building my
pillow. That's right. And he did. And now he's also an attorney.
Man, imagine that. Imagine making millions off pillows.
I know, right? He's in Kroger now.
He's in Kroger?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
He just got a big deal with Kroger.
Kroger has a pillow line?
Well, have you ever been to the Krogucci? They have pillows and shit.
Oh, I guess I don't go in that section.
Yeah. They have like pillows and bath mats and stuff in the big one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
I know, right? Are we moving into Bravo?
Bravo, sure.
Okay. The Bronwyn and Todd of it all.
What? What do you mean?
The latest episode where she went into the whole thing about how he didn't come to the hospital when she got attacked by that dog, and then it led it led into the whole.
Sorry, it's been like a week or two.
Yeah, no, I know.
Couldn't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you see her
Watch What Happens Live?
Watch What Happens Live. That was. It's so odd because
was she all like,
yeah, and
love?
he was in the audience.
Yeah.
And it was like, they were talking about it, like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have. Todd, have you seen it? And he was like, no, I haven't seen it yet. And they were like, but she didn't seem embarrassed. I mean, she spilled some tea.
She spilled some serious tea. And it's like, okay, bye, Todd. Like, best of luck to you. Like, he treats her like trash. He cheated on her. There's no prenup.
But then she says on the show he didn't actually cheat on her. They made it sound in the show like
he cheated
on her, and
that her daughter revealed it.
But she said on the show it was an emotional affair, which I mean isn't not an affair. Yeah. But they made it seem like some real serious stuff went down. But I guess he was talking to this woman, which is still still cheating,
counts.
Still,
but
shitty.
She at one point said on the show on the boat, she said, because she was so upset and she was like trying to give some context. And she literally said, I'm not good enough at home and I can't be good enough with you guys. Like, so he clearly makes her feel less than.
Yeah, well, and it's obvious the way he talks to her.
Yeah, which means there's no respect.
Yeah.
Which means you need to leave.
And I mean, she was like bursting at the seams to
oh
say
my
that you
God.
could tell.
Yeah.
She was just like, oh, somebody
listen.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah, it's awful. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, he clearly like thinks that he's big man on campus. And yeah, I don't know. I don't see it.
Well,
lasting.
marriages don't really seem to last in Bravo land.
No,
so.
they sure don't, do they? Oh, I was laughing at Meredith in her huge stilettos to literally walk from the Sprinter van to the yacht.
Yeah, in just like a bathing suit.
Yeah.
Just like a black. And she looked like she was going to like the Academy Award pool or something.
Oh,
like, she was so overdressed.
So overdressed. And like, here's the thing. Like, I'm sure she's been on a yacht before. Teak deck.
Yeah.
You have to take your shoes off. You can't even wear the shoes on the boat.
Right.
It's like literally Sprinter van to the boat.
Classic Meredith.
Oh my God. Anyway. Riveting.
Yeah, what else?
Absolutely riveting content.
What else has been happening on Bravo?
Oh, well.
Oh, Sutton. Get over.
What did
so
Sutton do?
over Sutton.
What did Sutton do? I don't remember.
Trying to be like, oh, I've voted myself like
all
ringleader,
sisterhood,
like,
sisterhood of the
like,
traveling pants
up,
bullshit.
Get
yeah.
out of here. I can't believe that nobody was just like,
they were.
I mean,
Erica was like, enough.
Yeah, kick rock Sutton.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, especially because since when have you been very sisterly?
Yeah, no, I know. I did like that conversation that Garcelle and Kyle had on the boat, though. Why were there so many boats this week? I don't know.
Summertime.
I guess. But
they are filthy rich, so I guess it's
yeah. It was just like two separate franchises and boat scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that conversation that they had because I felt like it was like a vulnerable moment where, Kyle was talking about like the fear of possibly ending up alone or like your life not looking like what you thought it was going to look like at this stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the commonality between all of them,
Yeah.
Or most of them.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all kind of, I mean, is anyone partnered up there on that franchise?
Not anymore. I think Dorit was the last one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that was like kind of a cool, like vulnerable moment to see between the two of them.
Yeah, I think Dorit's getting some heat for her comments.
What did she say?
Well, she was just kind of talking about PK's alcoholism.
Oh, that's right.
I think she said some off-color things that, you know, people who are in recovery are just like, it's not actually.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, and this is just based off of I listened to PK and Mauricio on the Hot Mic podcast, and PK basically just, I mean, he kind of had to say that, like, he just didn't like how, he's like, you know, we were having problems outside of that. He was like, and I was really proud of myself for getting sober. And he did. He got sober well before they separated, you know. And she, I think, really alluded to the fact on the show that it was him being like a full-blown alcoholic that really, like, you know, and he's like, listen, you know.
That's not fair, really.
That's not fair to say, because, like, there was plenty going on outside of that, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is a sensitive, it's not cool to just be like, oh, I know this will work.
Yeah.
To just, it feels like an unfair weapon.
Agreed.
You know.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a good listen though too. The two of them on that podcast together. It was basically PK just talked the whole time.
Yeah. He's a talker.
Like, how do him and Dorit get
oh my gosh
to the point about anything ever?
I mean, that's probably why it didn't work out.
I mean, like, just circles and circles of talking and endless talking. All right, we got some grapes and gripes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I do have a gripe.
Let me hear it.
Condiment water.
Ooh.
And it's like,
is there anything worse?
No. And it's not just mustard water, because we all know that one really sucks. But like, even like sour cream and yogurt, you know, when you open it and it's got that water on top.
Yeah. Sriracha water too. I don't even really care for sriracha that much as a condiment. Either. I prefer just regular hot sauce, but
me too.
I've been making a lot of Asian dishes at home lately, and a lot of the sauce calls for sriracha. And I ran out of hot sauce, so I've been using it, and it gets really bad.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's not good.
And it's like, I just can't be relied on to remember to shake it every time.
Oh, well, I mean, no.
It can't be.
Who has the time for that?
Right. So
then you have to wipe your hot dog bun off.
Oh God! Or you got to get a new bun. The bun is fucked at that point. Like, there's no coming back from a soggy bun is not gonna do it.
Yeah. No. What is my gripe? I feel like all my gripes are all driving related.
That's okay.
And that proves an issue for me. Like, maybe
that you're the problem.
Yeah. Maybe I need to.
My gripe is that. Hi, it's me.
I'm the problem. It's me. Okay, so my gripe goes out to big truck people. This one in particular that I witnessed in an incident like 2 days before Christmas. That was really heartbreaking. This woman was going to cross the crosswalk. She had the walking guy signal. It was her turn to walk, and the guy who had the who would have had the green arrow after she was finished, who was turning left, just decided to barrel on through anyways. And it was a huge truck with a giant trailer on the back. Cut this lady off. Like, there's no way he didn't see her.
Right.
Just decided to be a big jerk. So she could tell she was like a little taken aback. Like, well, okay. So like finished into the crosswalk. There was a median. She got to the median. And then another truck, a smaller, modest size, acceptable size truck, then also turned left and like kind of cut her off from the back, like got a little close to her, scared her, and she went to hurry up and stumbled in the median and fell all the way down on her hands and knees. And I mean, the shriek that came out of my mouth, I was just like, no, you're just like, oh my God, this poor woman. She got up, you could tell she
had a little gravel in her hands.
Yeah, scraped her hand. She was all like, like shake it up. And I felt so bad for her. Of course, they just carried on.
Of course they did.
I just want to be like, get over yourselves, big truck people. Stop it.
Yeah.
Quit being jerks on the road. Nearly killed this woman.
Right.
So
nothing's that important.
Whoever you are.
Not even your truck.
No. If you're listening, dude who almost took this sweet woman out the day before Christmas, Go fuck yourself.
You know what really grinds my gears?
What?
When you're going to turn left and you don't have an arrow, so you have to yield to the pedestrians, and the person behind you honks.
Oh God!
And you're like, I got a walker
here. You're like, do your hand signals like this so they know. Yeah, I know the impatience of people. It's just like,
my God.
Okay,
that's even worse than the horn the second the light turns green. Before the neuron has even fired for your foot to move.
Yeah, you're like, I got it, I'm going. Yeah.
But that one is just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There's a person walking.
But have you ever been that person that you don't see it?
No.
And they're like, you honk and then you see the person, you're like, oh no.
No,
sorry.
I haven't, because I do not honk for people to go until I absolutely have to. And so I always see the person because I wait so long to honk at people for going.
Good. Me too.
Now I honk at people. I honk at people when they're crossing the center line and about to ram head-on collision into me.
Which is happening all the time.
We've
talked about this on the podcast
cell phones.
already. Yeah.
But yeah, I really wait a long time before I do the okay, let's go. Yeah. To the point where sometimes people in the car with me will be like, are you going to honk?
My grape's
going to the fact that this podcast is over. It's just...
My grape is going to the snowstorm. I am excited to get snowed in.
Yeah.
I want it to happen. I just don't want the electricity to go out.
Right.
That's what I'm open for.
Yeah.
But man, I would love a couple days of not having to
go anywhere or do anything. Yeah. You definitely need to get something besides the 17-day-old wilted kale in your refrigerator.
I absolutely must go grocery shopping tomorrow.
Yeah.
The
Good luck.
The
shelves are empty.
I know. I'm going to have to go early.
No, they're empty already.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, well. I'm sure there's something left for me. I'm sure they got cans of Dinty Moore I can stock up on.
Well, there's definitely some kale if you want to put that in your refrigerator and let it rot and not eat that. There's probably more kale.
I do have like 40 brown bananas in my freezer if worse comes to worse. Just make 10 loaves of banana bread. Live off that. I'm an adult, people. I know how to feed myself, just barely.
Doing a little breast massage there?
I don't know, man. I don't know. No, this is way above my breast. This is my armpits. My arms I've been doing arms hard.
Yeah.
You should see how ripped I am, though.
Let me see. Let me feel. Nice.
Yeah. Can't tell.
You can.
Doesn't look any better. No, but I'm so pale. It never looks good.
Well, tan fat equals muscle, so just get a tan.
I know. I'm not tan, so. Oh, Lord. All right.
Thanks for being here. Bye. Bye.